School District Board of Education regular board meeting for October 20th, 2022. Norwood City School District Board of Education follows a bi-monthly meeting schedule. First meeting of the month is called our committee meeting. At this meeting, we discuss fully our agenda for the board meetings to be held the third Thursday of each month. As board members, we encourage everyone to attend, watch, and listen our committee discussion, which results in actions at these board meetings. For full disclosure, our committee meetings and board meetings are always announced, audio and videotaped, as well as posted to our webpage for your view. All of our meetings are public and visitors are always welcome. Mrs. Camphouse, please call the roll.
Mr. Atwood.
Present.
Mrs. Cole.
Present.
Ms. Ballard.
Present.
Mrs. Rarica.
Present.
Mr. Taylor.
Present.
Next item, I'd like to ask everyone to please stand and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Where's the flag?
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
These chairs are a little tricky.
There's no arm.
I don't know, I'm having fun.
Stand up. Right? I mean, I'm just waiting for one of us, probably me, who will sit down and the thing will.
All right, we do have a couple of items for housekeeping. The first item is agenda item number 1.04, and that is the adoption of tonight's agenda. I'd like to make a motion that we adopt tonight's agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
Sounds great.
Mrs. Camphouse, please call the roll.
Mr. Atwood.
Yes.
Mrs. Cole.
Yes.
Ms. Ballard.
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
With the agenda passed, we'll move on to the other housekeeping items. We have 1.05, which is the minutes from our committee meeting held on September 6th. 1.06, which is the minutes from our regular board meeting held on September 15th. And 1.07, which is the minutes from our finance committee meeting held on October 11th. And 1.08, which is the minutes from our committee meeting held on October 11th. I'd like to make a motion that we approve these minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Mrs. Camphouse, please call the roll.
Mr. Atwood.
Yes.
Mrs. Cole.
Yes.
Ms. Ballard.
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
With that, we will move on to section 2, which is presentation, and I'd just like to say I am very happy to be back here in the mini auditorium.
It's kind of
So,
exciting.
It is. It is. I feel like we're back at home. 2.01 is the presentation of this month's Rising Stars.
Thank you, President Atwood. We are thrilled to have Rising Stars back here again. We're pleased to share the Rising Stars for the month of October. When we call your name, we are going to ask that you come forward. And so there are some words there just because we have a few cables going over here, so be careful as you make your way down here. And we'll have you see until all the students are up front, or adults.
So we're going to first begin with Norwood High School. Norwood High School, Rising Star, JoJo Hatfield. JoJo, come on down. Norwood High School would like to congratulate JoJo Hatfield as the October Rising Star. JoJo is a sophomore and is very involved in marching band and silhouettes. He is a strong student, challenging himself by taking AP and honors courses. He is known throughout the building for his friendly face and his ability to get along with his peers. After high school, JoJo would like to pursue a career in the music field. JoJo is a true example of what Norwood pride means at Norwood High School. Congratulations.
All right. Norwood Middle School Rising Star student for October is Zane Hendley. Zane, come on down. Okay. Zane works very diligently during science class on his assignments, taking care to ask questions and make sure he understands what is being asked. He completes his work carefully and works very hard. He is very respectful and a great student. Each of Zane's teachers rave that he is an amazing addition to any classroom. He is a hard worker that takes great pride in doing well and achieving. He is not afraid to ask questions and is always ready for a class discussion. He is mature and helpful, and his classmates value his insight and contributions. He is always willing to help other students and adults and has a great sense of humor. Congratulations, Zane, for being Norwood Middle School Rising Star of October.
Sharpsburg Elementary and Primary School's Rising Star student for October is Madilynn Gilvin. The fourth grade teachers at Sharpsburg Elementary would like to recognize Madilynn Gilvin as Sharpsburg's Rising Star. Madilynn is new to Norwood this year and has been a tremendous asset to our school from day one. Madilynn is truly a shining star in and out of the classroom. Madilynn comes to school every day with a positive attitude. She's always ready to tackle any task placed in front of her with a smile on her face. Her hard work, ethic, focus, and attention to detail are truly impressive. She always takes time on her assignments and is not afraid to ask questions when she needs help. Madilynn is an active participant in the classroom. One of Madilynn's best traits is her kindness. She always shows kindness and compassion towards her peers and does a wonderful job of making everyone in her class feel included. The fourth grade teachers are very excited to see just how high Madilynn will soar this fourth grade year. Congratulations, Madilynn.
Norwood View Elementary School's Rising Star student for October is Jayana Hubbard. The fourth grade teachers at Norwood View have chosen Jayana Hubbard as their October Rising Star student. Jayana is a wonderful student that exemplifies respect, commitment, and integrity. Jayana is very respectful to others. She is always willing to help classmates and is kind to everyone. Her smile lights up a room. Jayana is always prepared for class. She has been such a great example to the other students. Jayana has a strong desire to do well and is willing to put in the extra effort needed to be successful. She doesn't hesitate to ask questions when she doesn't understand what's being taught in class. Jayana is very kind and respectful to her teachers, other students, and the staff at View. We are very proud of you. Congratulations.
Williams Avenue Elementary School's Rising Star for October is Shane Burns. Shane Burns is a third grade student at Williams Avenue Elementary who walks into school every day with a smile on his face and is ready to take on the day. Shane is motivated to work hard with every day in all subjects, including specials. He is a huge asset to his classroom and his peers, and he is willing to help everyone in that classroom. He's not afraid to take a risk and possibly even make a mistake because he knows he can learn from his mistakes and be confident in the skills and the knowledge he has acquired. Shane is kind and respectful and always brings enthusiasm to the classroom. After school, Shane likes to play soccer, basketball, and baseball. When he grows up, he would like to be a professional soccer player. His favorite thing about Williams Avenue Elementary is his friends. Shane looks forward to math each day because he likes to learn new things he doesn't know. When asked if he would give a shout out to anyone, he responded, Mrs. O'Connor, because she's a good teacher. Shane embodies the enthusiasm and the passion required to not only be successful in third grade, but also what every student at Williams Avenue Elementary needs to be successful in their academic career. It's students like Shane that makes Norwood City Schools great.
All right. Our athletic Rising Star student for October is Colson Krebs. Colson Krebs is a multi-sport athlete at Norwood High School. He plays varsity soccer in the fall and varsity basketball in the winter. Recently, Colson was named Miami Valley Conference Student Athlete of the Week by head coach Dan Luking. What has caught our eye in the athletic department is his transformation in the classroom. As a sophomore, we have seen great academics with enrollment in honors classes and earning straight A's, demonstrated during our weekly eligibility checks. The sky's the limit for Colson as his star will continue to rise. Congratulations.
And now we'd like to recognize a staff member as a Rising Star this month. The staff member for this month is from Norwood Middle School, Brittany Geraci. The Norwood Middle School Secretary, Brittany Geraci, is an amazing asset to our building and our district. She is always present, one of the first in the building each day, and keeps the building on track with a beautiful smile. With her amazing skills and knowledge of the various systems in our district uses, she's able to assist others around her and allow them to be able to do more of what they need to do. She helps Mr. Alsop with his needed interims and report cards, Mr. Stacy with attendance, Mr. Gabbard with various items as well. With the help with various paperwork needed for all the items and all the systems used, she's able to keep everyone organized and allows us to spend more time with the students. Mrs. Geraci is the rock that allows our office to do what needs to be done. She continues to build relationships with students and parents and staff and others that come into the building. Brittany is the MVP and the rising star of our Norwood Middle School. Congratulations, Mrs. Geraci. So now we'll have the board members come and shake your hand, but I'm going to ask if you all could just step forward and watch the step, but step down on this carpet. That's perfect. And then I'm going to have you take one step in that direction. Just slide on that.
Can I roll them?
Yep.
Please read great, JoJo.
Congratulations. This is for you. Congratulations. And this is for you. Congratulations. This is for you. This is for you. Congratulations. This is for you. Congratulations. This is for you.
How are we looking? Okay, one more little slide in this direction. And then I'm going to have you hold up your certificates forward so that everyone can see them. All right, perfect.
There you go. Okay, I'm going to take a couple of them. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. And if you could put your down just a little bit. There you go. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
All right, congratulations. And now, if the family members and the students would follow Mrs. Havlin out into the lobby, she would like to take some family photos with you and your rising stars. Thanks everyone for being here for that. We'll take a brief break as we do that.
We're gonna get
Should just roll.
All right, do you think we're safe to continue? All right, we're going to move on while everybody's getting their pictures taken with 2.02, and this is a treasurer's presentation. I'd like to turn the floor over to our treasurer, Mrs. Campos.
Okay. Mrs. Ronan, would you mind just pushing the button twice for me, or somebody, please? Just to go to the picture of my staff. Thank you so much. Norwood City School District is thrilled to acknowledge that the district received the Ohio Auditor of State Award for Excellence in Financial Reporting. This is Mr. Ryan Holliday from the Auditor of State's office presenting the award to my staff. Left to right, that's Laura Zimmerman on the left, and then Mr. Holliday, myself, Heather Cole, and Bridget Brouch. Less than 10% of the public entities receive this recognition annually. The award comments say that local citizens are well served by Norwood City Schools' effective and accountable financial practices. The Treasurer's Office is humbled yet proud that our efforts and hard work have been recognized by the Ohio Auditor of State. I have a nice little certificate.
I was looking to see if that was written somewhere because I might want to repeat that.
It's just, I have the actual framed certificate in my office. If you want to see it, it's just the Ohio State Auditor Award and Financial Reporting Excellence. So,
That's amazing.
thank
That
you.
is. Yay, yay you,
Thank you.
yay us.
Yes,
You have a good team.
yes, we do. I have thanked them multiple times.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. With the presentation section over, and congratulations on the award.
Thank you.
Very much deserved. We're going to move on to the Education Committee report, and I'd like to turn the floor over to Board Member Ms. Ballard.
Thank you, Mr. President. First up is 3.01, the student field trips. There is a list of 12 various field trips for pretty much all varying grades of students. We have discussed them at our last meeting, so it says there's a motion for that one, but I don't see a line. Do you want me to just lump them in together at the end? Okay. 3.02 is our MOU for Talbert House. This is the same contract that we have had in the past for mental health services. This is just a re-up of that service. And 3.03, an opposition resolution to House Bill 529, which we discussed at last week's meeting, not creating additional work on our teachers and an additional stress on our teachers. The resolution is there in full if you'd like to read it, and I believe it contains all of the updated changes that we mentioned at last week's meeting as well. I'd like to make a motion that we accept 3.01 through 3.03 as written.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
There are 2 candidates running for state school board, and I was able to be on a Zoom call with one of them. I don't know if I should mention one or the other, but one mentions that they know very much about this HB 529 and lots of other things that are facing our teachers in our schools, and I was just excited to be able to talk to her about it.
Okay.
Please vote for that one.
Gotcha. Any other discussion? Mrs. Camphouse, please call the roll.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
All right, with all of those items passed, we'll move on to section 4 in our agenda. This is personnel, and I'd like to turn the floor over to Superintendent Ronan.
Thank you, President Atwood. 4.01 is retirement, and we would like to thank Virginia Hall. Ginger, she was known to all of us. Thank you for your many years of service. You will be missed. Then under 4.02 employment, we have lots of supplemental contracts tonight for coaches, our mentor teachers, and also sponsors of our great drama department. That's under number 1. Under number 2, our Avenues for Success after-school program, we have a list of club advisors who are working after school to provide enrichment activities for our students. Number 3, under classified subs, we are welcoming Antoine Martin. It's always wonderful to have someone who can fill in when staff are absent. Number 4, this is the resolution to hire, or actually pupil activity contracts, to hire our coaches for our winter sports teams. And it always amazes me all the wonderful teams we have and all the activities we have for our students. And then lastly, number 5 is a correction for the marching band assistant director from full-time to part-time. And that concludes my personnel report. Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the personnel recommendations as presented to us.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion? Mrs. Camphouse, please call the roll.
Mr. Atwood?
Abstain?
Mrs. Cole?
Abstain.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
All right, with that passed, we'll move on to section 5 in our agenda. This is the policy committee report, and I would like to turn the floor over to Vice President Cole.
Thank you, Mr. President. So tonight we have the second reading and adoption of the policies that we have been discussing through September and October, starting with IGCH-R, which is also LEC-R, IGDJ, and IGDK. This is College Credit Plus, affects College Credit Plus, interscholastic athletics, and extracurricular eligibility. So OHSAA makes revisions to its bylaws, and the districts are informed. So OSBA is not going to keep updating their policies in as much detail as OHSAA changes those. So they are just, the OSBA is just going to start referring to the OSHAA. Basically just go to the source to see what's going on with those. Let's see, sorry, I lost my place here. We have KGB and GBP. So this is public conduct on district property and drug-free workplace. So this just added additional substances prohibited on school property and made a legal reference. A legal reference, I'm sorry. And then GBH and JM, so this is student staff relations. So this is the district staff is going to be using provided communication resources rather than their personal devices to communicate with students and parents. All right, so I would like to make a motion to adopt these policies.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
I've got a question. On IGDK, it's got a strike through on our grade point average. What's our grade point average now?
Well, I think you're instead of just listing it, we're following the OH.
Okay, so the strike through of 2.0 is,
Yes.
Yeah.
okay,
Although it may still be, but it's whatever OHSAA says.
Okay.
Because if they change it to a 2.5, then we have to go back and change our board policy. This
Okay.
way, if we just say whatever their guidelines are.
it's open-ended.
they're out.
That's
Okay,
what I'm saying.
gotcha, okay.
Yeah. So this is the second reading that we're doing of these policies and the official adoption so that they become effective. Mrs. Camphouse, please call the roll.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Miss Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
All right, with those passed and adopted, we'll move on to section number 6 in our agenda. This is the Building and Grounds Committee report, and I'd like to turn the floor over to Board Member Mrs. Rarica.
Why, thank you. We have 7 requests. We're very busy here at our properties and lots of people want to use them, and that's wonderful. We have the Norwood Christmas Town coming in December, Intercity Soccer Academy, using Shea Stadium, 2 requests for that. Girl Scouts wanting to have their meetings here. Seven Hills School use swim team using the pool. Norwood Recreation using the gyms for basketball, and 2 requests for that. I'd like to make a motion that we accept these.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion on any of these requests? Mrs. Camphouse, please call the roll.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Miss Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
All right, with all of those requests approved, we'll move on to section number 7 in our agenda. This is the Finance Committee report, and I'd like to turn the floor over to District Treasurer Mrs. Camphouse.
Thank you, Mr. President. On the agenda, 7.01, this is our CFO report. Financials and change order listings are attached for your approval. 7.02, appropriation resolution, our budget for the year. 7.03, rename account from Williams 100-year celebration to Williams field trip. This will take the leftover funds, which is less than $3,000, to allow students to have field trips with less cost to parents. When the funds run out, we will use this account to track field trips. 7.04, North Norwood parapet wall, substantial completion. This finishes this repair contract. 7.05, parking lot agreement. This allows the New City Presbyterian Church to use Sharpsburg Primary's parking in the evening and the weekends. 7.06, professional development for a board member. 7.07, donation of chairs worth $20,788. 7.08, 7.08 is the National Web Check MOU. This continues our ability to offer our BCI checks in district. And 7.09, Norwood Ready Kids. This agreement continues our, so that we can provide early education opportunities for 0 to 5-year-old children and families in Norwood. Did I get all that, or did I miss one?
Nope, that's everything.
I got them all? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, threw me off. There is a vote box there, so if it pleases the board, we can consider 7.01 to 7.09.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the finance items 7.01 through 7.09 as presented to us.
I'll second.
Are there any discussion? I'm very happy that we're continuing with the Norwood Ready Kids. That's a very important program. So,
And they do so much, and I see them everywhere.
yeah. Any other discussion? Mrs. Camp House, please call the roll.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
With that approved, you may continue.
Thank you. 7.10, resolution declaring urgent necessity. As we spoke last week, this resolution will bypass the RFQ process for architect selection so that we can better meet the time deadlines of our grant and bond funds for future construction. And again, this is a separate vote box.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the resolution declaring an urgent necessity.
I'll second.
Any discussion? So I would like to say, and I mentioned this last week when we discussed this, that in the 5 years that I've been on this board, we've only done this one other time. So the purpose for this is because the funds that we want to use for this are time critical. And so the only option in order to do this the right way and to utilize those funds is to declare an urgent necessity. And this is only for the architect contract.
Selection, correct?
Right, so this isn't for construction, this is just for the architect contract, so we can design it properly. Any other discussion? Mrs. Camp House, please call the roll.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
With that passed, you may continue.
7.11, SHP Future Construction Architect Contract to provide architect services for our future beautification projects, playground updates, roofs at Williams and View High School boilers, and to upgrade Shea. And again, this is just for the architect contract.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve 7.11, the SHP Future Construction Architect Contract.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Mrs. Camp House, please call the roll.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Finally, the last one, Facility Improvement Plan Cost Study, Williams Elementary and Sharpsburg Primary Lot Plan. So on the Williams and Sharpsburg Primary Lot Plans, we presented these last week as, and we reviewed their plans. The costs are associated here tonight. Also attached is the overall facility improvement plan. When you review that, you'll see that it includes a lot of different things that we probably will not consider at this time. At this time, however, we anticipate completing the following over the next year or so: Shea Stadium's upgrades, all elementary playground upgrades, a beautification at each building's front entrance, the roof replacement at Williams and View, and the boiler replacement at the high school. So right now, what the Board of Education is approving is the lot plan for Williams Elementary and Sharpsburg Primary and the associated budget for those two construction projects.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve 7.12 as presented to us.
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
If anyone wants to see these plans, go see Julie. They're super, super, super cool. I've had a couple parents ask me.
Yeah, we need to think about that and come up with some kind of a plan to communicate just how cool they are.
Right.
Maybe share them online too, put them on the
Yeah.
website.
Yeah.
Upcoming features tab, and we could put in upcoming updates and
That's a great
blueprints
idea.
or something like that, photos as we progress. That would be
Yeah.
kind of a cool thing.
And I've been asking them, please help tell people where this money came from. It's not
Yeah.
some magic money. It
That's right.
wasn't a levy, and we sold bonds.
Yeah.
And we have to spend it with rules, and these are rules, so.
That's right.
So I'm like, please help us tell people.
And some of it's grant money too, ESSER grant
Oh,
money. so,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, any other discussion? Mrs. Camp House, please call the roll.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
All right, with that passed, we will continue on. Item number 8 in our agenda is hearing of the public. I've received no requests to address us tonight. So we'll move on to item number 9, which is the report section. 9.01 are board announcements. Does any board member have anything that they would like to share with the group?
I've got a couple items.
Yeah.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you to our community partner here in Norwood. The Chipotle last night worked with our junior prom committee doing a fundraiser for their prom from 4 to 8 last night. So thank you to them. Upcoming event on Saturday, October 22nd. The Arboretum on Wheels is going to be at Williams Community Garden at 10:15 and over at Doral Field at 12:30. And it's going to be a free event teaching about trees and how they can help to keep the communities cool. So it might be a fun thing to get out this weekend while it's nice, take your kids to the park, and go do something in the community.
And at 8:30 with that, you can be at Doral and plant trees. I know that's where my daughter and I are gonna be before you learn about this stuff.
And then upcoming next month, our production of Clue that's going to be happening on the 18th and 19th. Maddie Schneider reached out to me, and I'm going to be interpreting it. So we are going to have access for any deaf parents or family members that might want to come and see Clue. It will be interpreted this year.
Fun.
And that's all my announcements.
Very good. Does any other board member have any announcements?
The junior high is gonna have a dance tomorrow.
I know they're excited.
I bet. I know my 9th grader never had a junior high dance, so I'm like, oh. This
So
is
I
exciting
heard
for
that
my younger one.
they sold over 200 tickets.
Yeah, my younger child was telling me that they ran out of tickets. I don't know if that means that they're not going to sell them to more children or they just ran out of tickets.
Yeah. So.
But she said there was a big pile of $5 on the table every day. So I know they're very, very excited.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to have those middle school dances and used to have 5th quarter dances all the time. A long time ago, and those were always well attended.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any other board announcements?
Think.
No? All right. We'll move on to 9.02, the superintendent's report. Superintendent Ronan.
Thank you, President Atwood. There have been lots of activities first quarter, and I do want to thank Board Member Alice Rarica because she brought, and Ruth Ann Webb, who brought in Bless with a Dress, Suit, and More, so that students, it's so expensive to buy a dress for just one night for a dance, for homecoming, or a suit, so the students were actually able to pick items at no cost, so that was really wonderful. And here are pictures of our homecoming parade. And as you see, we have another board member, Amber Ballard, featured there at the homecoming football game.
The jacket still fit.
Now, these are the activities that keep our students involved and interested in school. However, on a more, there we go, our king, Jeremy Cox, and our queen, Bella McNamara, and the whole homecoming court from the homecoming dance. So like I said, these activities keep our students interested, keep our students involved, but also on a more serious note, we want all of them to make sure they graduate and really enroll in some kind of post-secondary program. So the high school had a conference night and a FAFSA parent information night to talk about financial aid and how to ease that transition from high school into some kind of programming afterwards. And this is financial aid in addition to the Great Norwood Scholarship Foundation, who gave, gosh, over $250,000 to our graduating seniors last year. But you know, that never is enough to cover everything in college when you add up the books and everything else. So this was a well-attended night. So actually, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Superintendent Ronan. We'll move on to 9.03. This is the Great Oaks Report. I'd like to turn the floor over to Board Member Ms. Ballard.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let's see. So we went through a lot of information for updating curriculum at the last meeting. We also reviewed some new terminology that we might not be aware of. Apparently IEP, so we all are familiar with that term, has been updated. It is now, it went from plan, and now the word is program. So if we start using that terminology, it's individualized education program rather than plan. So that was something I just wanted to bring to you guys. We had several adult workforce experiences. We graduated a new police academy, and we have another one starting November 7th. We had a visit from Lieutenant Governor Husted through our adult workforce program at Scarlett. He visited our Vet Tech, Fire Academy, HVAC, and advanced machining programs. A lot of new jobs are popping up around the Columbus area, and they are looking to partner with our Oaks students to pursue some of those new jobs. Laurel Oaks hosted a career fair, and we had over 40 companies attend. For anyone in the community that might be interested in participating as a work partner for our Oaks students, you could be someone who offers them workforce in-job training, or you could just be a resource for training students who are coming out of those programs. You can join our BIAC at the closest whatever campus, and you can be a part of multiple campuses. We also got our state report card back. We had a 98.7% graduation rate at the Oaks, and we received an A on our report card. We're very proud of our students there. If you are interested in potentially sending a student up to the Oaks as they get older and you have questions, we have started doing this new thing. We started it during COVID, and now we can do it in person. We have a coffee chat meet, so that way you can come and ask questions to our admin team. We did have one last week at the Anderson Library. The next one is October 24th, and that's in Mason at the Deerfield Township Administrative Building on Parkway Drive. And then we have one on October 26th that is virtual, and that's at greatoaks.com/coffee chat. So if you'd like to participate and want more information about what the Oaks can offer your student, please go there. And that concludes my report.
All right. I do have one question. You had mentioned that the Great Oaks received an A.
Yes.
State isn't doing letter grades.
The breakdown overall, when we present to our BIAC partners, they still present a letter grade based on, where did I put it? I had it right here. Based on the percentages that we receive. And I will find it eventually, but I had it right here. They give us so many reports up there, I'll tell you. Lots of reports, I'm sorry.
That's okay, we can.
Oh, it was at the bottom of my stack here. Okay, so they base it on the achievement scores overall. So the only area that we received a B was a component grade in overall technical skill attainment, which was an 87.3. Our graduation rate, we received a 98.7 for our students graduating in a 4-year cohort. Our post-secondary and career readiness, we received an A in that. And in our post-program outcomes, we have a 91.5% overall student receiving recognized credentials in their field, which again it falls under like an A. So based on the reporting for technical schools, we still follow this rubric. So it's a little bit different.
So
than
that's
technical
different
schools.
than the STAR system that the rest of the state's doing?
I
For
believe the
technical
STAR
schools.
system is, yes.
Yeah.
Is K to 12, but doesn't include any of your technical schools.
Right.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
we still run on this programming. It's just easier because we have so many different fields that we are trying to measure growth in, and it is easier to give us an overall percentage grade based on all of those fields added together.
All right, sounds good. Thank you for the report. We'll move on to 9.04, the Norwood Community Television Board Report, and I'd like to turn the floor over to Vice President Cole.
Thank you, Mr. President. So if you follow NCT on Facebook, you see that they have been very busy streaming football, volleyball, and soccer. And also Tyler was sharing with me that the video club has been so successful and they've had so many kids sign up that they have 2 video clubs this year. So last year they obviously did that horror film that everybody was so excited about. So now they have 2 groups doing that. So he said they have 6th to 9th grade participating, and I asked him, I said, how did you break them up? I said, is it broken up by grade? He said, no. He said, it's kind of like the students that participated last year are kind of staying together because they're a little more knowledgeable about what's going on. So he said they're very excited and have a lot of energy around Video Club. So,
If there's that much continued interest in it, it might be worthwhile to look at official curriculum.
Maybe.
And maybe we can get a seal for graduation.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I have to tell you, they want to make another scary movie. I tried to talk them out of it. I'm like, it takes the whole year to make the movie, and it's not Halloween all year. But when they start writing the movie, it's Halloween time, and I'm like, and they're like, it doesn't matter, and I'm like,
he said that
does it have to be scary every year?
He said that one group is going to do like one film like they did last year, and he said they've already started on the script.
Oh, yeah.
And then he said the other group are going to do several short films. So two different approaches. But that concludes my report.
Thank you, Vice President Cole. And I'd like to move on to 9.05, which is the OSBA Legislative Liaison Report. And I will defer to Board Member Ms. Ballard.
Thank you, Mr. President. We did have our Southwest Region meeting last week up at the Greene County Career Center. We did get an update from Mr. Schwartz, who's the Deputy Director from Legal Services, or Legislative Services. He basically went over the House bill that we'd already discussed in opposition, a couple other things that are more pertinent to technical schools, and then he mentioned the upcoming Capitol Conference, which is November 13th through 15th. He said that they should be sending out a packet of information for our delegates to be able to read through, and a lot of that information is going to be pertained to upcoming legislative issues. So we need to make sure when we get that, we read through it so that we can vote appropriately. The other thing that they mentioned at that meeting, they passed this out to every single person that was there. This is a new thing that the state of Ohio is trying to do. They're offering a text or call phone number line for anyone who reports bullying, endangering, anything dangerous that might be affecting your school. And they wanted to make sure that people had an anonymous way to call in and get help. So it's called Speak Up, Save Lives. Text or call. The number is 844-SAFER-OHIO. So SAFEROH. So you can text or call that number anytime that you might have something that maybe you don't want to talk to your school about or don't feel comfortable, or maybe you've noticed something that you just want to report while you're at a sporting event outside of our district. You can use that phone number and report issues.
Safer OH.
Yep, Safer OH. And this is a statewide thing. It offers services for bullying incidents, threats towards students, if you see weapons, gang activity, anything that you might hear about self-harm or suicide, any way that we can step in and help our students, any tool that we can have in our belt. I want to encourage people to use that if they feel the need.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Ballard. We'll move on to 9.06, which is the Avenues for Success Report. I'll turn the floor over to Board Member Mrs. Rarick.
Thank you. Debbie got us started. The after school has started with a big bang. Everybody's super excited. And so many classes to take. It's crazy. I know my kids added rock climbing this year, which they did not take last year. And there's pots and plants and film and floral and sewing and guitar and piano and ukulele and it goes on and on. It's so exciting. We're just so lucky to have so many interesting things to do after school for our kids that enrich their lives and help them in school too, because it makes things interesting and keeps them creative and keeps their minds going. And I want people to know, if your kid didn't sign up, this is not a big deal. They can still sign up. As we know, Laura Ferguson takes new kids into the program all year long. It's never too late to sign up. Go ahead and do it. Call Laura Ferguson or just call your kid's teacher and say, how do I do this? Or the principal. Brittany, Geraci can help you. Anybody can. It's so affordable and so much fun. Your kid doesn't want to miss out, so yay.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Rarica. That concludes all of the reports that we have for this month. We'll move on to section 10 in our agenda, which is future meeting notification. And we do have a motion to approve the future meetings for the month of November. I'm going to make the motion so that we can get to the discussion portion of this, because I think we need to talk about some of these dates. So I'm going to make a motion that we approve the future meeting dates.
I'll second.
And then I know we have a conflict for the 17th. So there are a couple of options, I think.
And
How
the
does,
8th.
huh?
And the 8th.
And the 8th. What's the 8th?
What's on the
That's the election day. I don't think we wanted to have the meeting on election night.
The committee discussion?
Correct. Did we still want to host our committee meeting on election night?
I know we did that on odd years for board member elections, of course.
Right.
I'm okay.
But do you think we need to do it every year?
I'm not sure. I didn't know if we had any commitments or if anybody was working a poll or.
Does anybody
like
have
that.
any issue with meeting for the committee discussion on the 8th?
I'm good for meeting on that day.
Then I'm good as well. I just
Are you
wanted to
okay?
make sure if anybody needed to work a poll or something, that we weren't putting that strain on you.
No, I think we're okay with the 8th. It's the 17th. So the 17th, I know Julie has a conflict.
Could we do it the week before on the 10th and just do a same week meeting? I know that's
That's
but we've done
pretty
it
tight.
before.
I know. How does the 16th look for everybody? Do it on that Wednesday.
Is the other option appointing a different treasurer?
So if we need to keep it on the 17th and Julie can't make it because of another commitment, then we would have to we have to have a treasurer at the meeting, so we'd have to appoint a treasurer pro tem. Now, the
I can do the
purpose.
16th.
Huh?
I can do the 16th.
Can you do the 16th?
Can you do?
Julie, can you do the 16th? Okay, Mary? Why don't we just do the 16th and we don't have to worry about appointing the treasurer pro tem?
Are you guys, can't see you down there, so.
So we're going to move the regular board meeting to Wednesday, November 16th at 6 PM. The other change that I think we could make on this is that our committee meeting on the 8th, it might be better to have it at the board office on Williams. Because
That's a
This is-
polling place, though.
is that a polling place?
Sharpsburg is.
Oh, Sharpsburg.
Sharpsburg is.
Oh, we can't move back in yet, that's right. Yeah.
Because this setup isn't conducive for discussion.
Well, no, but we could always move the tables around a little bit. It doesn't have to be in this line.
Right. I think we're limited with how we can configure the tables.
I think, I'm just joking. I was gonna say, we should sit on the floor and be in a circle like Girl Scout.
Yeah.
I can't sit on the floor.
I wouldn't make us do that.
So we're going to do it, so
So the committee meeting
Back at Sharpsburg.
No,
Or on the 8th
That's the
at
board office.
At the board office.
That's what I mean. The board office at Williams.
at Williams
Okay.
at 6.
And that would be all committee meetings?
And then our regular board meetings here in this space.
So like Julie said, all committee meetings there and then,
So are we moving, we're
Just like we
moving the
used to.
committee meetings back where we were?
Yep.
Regular meetings right here,
Yeah,
like we used to.
do it. Like
Back
we
in the
used
good
to.
old days.
But everything
Before
will stay 6
construction.
o'clock this time, right?
But everything will stay.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yes,
Right.
we're not moving
I
the
like
times.
that too. I didn't like the changing times.
I
It's
didn't
like,
either.
I can't keep this straight.
Yeah. All right,
Thank you
good?
for that.
you're
I
welcome.
put it in my calendar.
All right, any other discussion? Mrs. Camp House, please call the roll.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Cole?
Yes.
Miss Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Rarica?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
yes.
All right, with that passed, we have our committee on November 8th, at 6 PM in the board office on Williams, and our regular board meeting on the 16th at 6 PM here in this space. And then our last item is adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn?
All motion?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone. It's good to be back here.
Yes.
I like it.